Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm gonna make a video about this whole Grandmaster J and Mechee X situation because this is getting out of hand. I mean, I kind of saw it coming a while ago, but first thing, let me tell you where I stand with Grandmaster J and in fact, I like what they're doing. It is much needed for the black community. Black people need to learn how to defend themselves. They need to arm themselves. You know, you have that Second Amendment right. It is your right, you know, to arm yourself, to start your own militia, whatever. You know, I stand with Grandmaster J on that. You know, then you got all these people saying he's an agent or whatever. Yeah, you can see if he's an agent, all right, it's whatever. But his message is much needed. You know, that's what I'm getting at right here. Like, his message is much needed, you know. Everybody, you know, is so, you know, they just want to kill the messenger all the time, but they feel like if you kill the messenger, you know, you kill his message too. But you gotta understand, man, you gotta start listening to the message rather than, you know, focusing on the messenger. You know, there's a bunch of YouTubers out there, you know, going back into his past, talk about how he tried to get into hip-hop. Like, none of that shit matters, man. We here in the present right now, man. We got to start thinking about the future, man. You can talk about his past all you want, but right now we got to look into the future, you know. And where I stand, you know, I still support the In Fact movement. It is much needed, and black people around the country need to emulate that, you know. You know, I myself, I don't want to join the In Fact movement. You know, I respect their movement, but me myself, man, I don't see myself joining them and try to, you know, become one of the In Fact members and stuff. That's not where I'm at, you know. And I don't think anybody should be like that with themselves, you know, like try to join their movement. You know, they'll start your own shit, you know, like, you know, you ain't got to join them to, you know. It's just that the message is clear, though, you know, like that we needed to start arming ourselves and you know, so we could defend ourselves. It's like, you know, that movie, The Matrix, the third Matrix movie, The Matrix Revolutions, where all the fucking Sentinels and shit, they were trying to break into Zion and shit. And then, you know, you had all the people in Zion, they was well prepared, they armed themselves, they had the, you know, the exoskeleton, machine or whatever with guns and shit all, you know, there was control of the exoskeleton machines, robots or whatever that, you know, to shoot them down. And you look at that, like, you know, you got to think about it, like, at least they're prepared for what the hell was coming. But as for black people, man, like, a lot of people are not prepared, man. Like, a lot of people, they not armed, Joe. They don't have anything to really protect themselves with, you know. And that's the shit that people need to understand. Like, you kind of facing this, you know, this Sentinel army that's trying to destroy everybody and shit, you know. You gotta be, you know, be ready for this shit before it's coming, you know. And not only that, but, you know, our numbers, you gotta think about, first you gotta think about the numbers in the military, man, because, like, the numbers in the military, well, it's probably no more than 5 million military members all across the country, you know. I'm talking about total, like, you know, Army, Navy, and all that shit. Probably no more than 5 million, but black people, we have about 50 million people here. Like, and that's what scares the system. Like, you know, they try to pull out all these stops and whatever. But hold on, I'm going to get to that real quick. But you got to look at the numbers, too. Like, what they're afraid of is the trajectory of everything. Like, everybody's becoming like-minded and, you know, starting to look at, you know, what they need to be doing and start forming their own groups, you know. I mean, you ain't got to become an In Fact member. Like, In Fact is not the only thing that you could do out here, man. Like, you could start your own shit. Like, you got to look at it like that's Grandmaster J's movement. That's his movement, you know. You know, start your own movement, man. Like, you know, start with your own, you know, your own friends or whatever, or your own community where you can start your own militia, you know. Don't become gang like, you know, follow the law and stuff. Don't become gang like, you know, then you start being profiled as gangs and shit. You know, you don't want to do that. Become, you know, your own community, your own militia. Start your own shit. And, you know, you can start your own shit. It's just like, you know, you can start your own business. Like, you can start your own club or whatever, you know. You can start your own militia. You become your own army here, man. Like, that's one of the rights, one of the God-given rights that we have in this country, man. And nobody's taking advantage of it. And that's number 2 on the Constitution. It's a reason why it's number 2. Well, you have the First Amendment, that's number 1. Then you got the Second Amendment, that's number 2. You know, it's number 2 on the list. And but that's what the system is afraid of, because they know if more and more black people start arming themselves and start, you know, buying survival supplies and stuff, it worries the system. They know they can't win, because if they go to war with everybody, man, they don't. First of all, they don't have the numbers to take everybody down. That's one thing people need to understand. They don't have the numbers, man. It's all a numbers game. They don't have the numbers to go to war with the American people. But they damn sure are trying to make black people the most vulnerable people in the country. That's a fact, man. This is why, you know, you got a lot of trolls on the internet, on YouTube. You know, they not telling black people what they should be doing right now. And what Grandmaster Jay is doing, you call him an Asian, whatever. But that's exactly what the fuck black people need to be doing in this country right now. Is to be arming themselves, you know, not just arm yourself, but start, you know, survival supplies, you know, start thinking about, you know, camping and stuff like that, you know, where you know, your rendezvous points and all this shit, man. You gotta start thinking about that stuff, you know. Like damn, I live in a metropolitan area. I may have to fucking, you know, relocate somewhere, you know, to your secret location and shit like that, you know. But that's the type of mindset y'all need to be having, you know. And this whole, you know, Mechee X and, you know, and his Grandmaster Jay and shit, man, I saw this shit coming, man, because, like, I knew once he, you know, get locked up, there's gonna be. I'm not saying he did compromise himself, but that's what I'm sensing. I'm sensing some compromise, that he might have been compromised a little bit, you know. I'm not saying it's true, but that's what I'm sensing. I'm not saying, you know, just take it with a grain of salt or whatever, but this whole Mechee X shit, and you know, she came out last night and shit, start fucking, you know, she basically turned on him, like, you know. I mean, I was kind of surprised, but then I wasn't, because I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't think it was going to come this fast, you know, like, that's the crazy part about it. I didn't think it was going to come this fast. And what people need to know for situations like this is that the New World Order system, this Antichrist system, y'all have to understand that they spend millions or possibly billions of dollars on human behavior, yo. On human behavior science. People have to understand this shit. Like, this is why they want you attached to all different types of systems and social medias and your tracking devices. They want to track each and everything about you and know your TV shows and know who you watch on TV or what you do on the internet, what job you work at, what's your inspirations and aspirations and whatever sensations that you're into, you know, because it's all about compiling data. Because I'm trying to give y'all a technical standpoint of what just happened last night. So you take all of that. They got a psychological profile on you. And they know exactly what the hell makes you tick. They know how to press your buttons. They know how to make you flip out. You know, even with me, I'm not perfect neither. They could get me sometimes, you know, like, you know, that's the thing. That's how sophisticated this shit is. Like, you know, they've been doing this shit for over 50 years, yo. No, they had this shit they call Operation Paperclip. I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure. I got to look at it again. Where they brought over German scientists from the Hitler era. They brought in the German scientists to study human behavior, and that's what started MK Ultra. You know, the CIA, MK Ultra situation, where they understand mind science and all this shit. They ran tests on their own, on our own American soldiers and shit. You know, they did this for over 50 plus years. So that's what you got to understand. The shit that they're doing is very sophisticated. They know, they understand it from a science standpoint. And not only that, they tie all of this science shit into the computers and all this data and all this compiling and, you know, number crunching and all this other shit that they're doing with their computers. Like, you gotta understand, technology, this is the year 2021, man. You gotta understand, technology is not the same from the 1980s. A lot of y'all are still stuck in that damn mindset, or the 1990s, or even the early 2000s. You know, technology have fucking surpassed well beyond what the fuck you're thinking. Like, you know. No, I went to school for all this shit. I know where technology is at. It's probably, you know, I'm probably touching the tip of the iceberg of what the fuck they really got, you know. What they're planning to get, you know. There's shit out there, man. Like, people really need to be concerned about, because like this decade, you know, if God's judgment don't come quick enough, man, they're gonna pull some shit, man. Like, and with this whole situation with Mechee, this was a psychological program that they put out there, man, to cause confusion, to get everybody, like, you know, like, hey, what the hell is going on? Like, just to scramble everybody's signal, you know. Everybody had a strong signal of what needs to be going on, and you know, the system came in and scrambled that fucking that signal. Is Jay a fraud? I don't know. He could be, but what people should take away from it, this is what I'm trying to, you know, trying to find, like, the equalizer here, is the message that's being sent out. Like, you know, the message is, man, like, yo, listen, man, black people, you gotta start your militia. You gotta start it fast. But be disciplined with it. Don't, you know, even when shit get hard, don't look at, you know, all right, I'm gonna look at my shotgun, I'm gonna take my shotgun, go out the house and get what the fuck I want. You know, shit got so bad. No, you don't want to do that, man. Prepare now, so you know, get your shit now. Like, you know, start thinking camping wise. Like, you know, start thinking, like, you know, how the Indians survived before, you know, the settlers came. You know, many of us are, you know, are attached to the Indian bloodline or whatever. But I'm just saying, though, think in that perspective. Like, how the fuck the original people of this land of America, how they survived centuries and centuries before the settlers, before the Europeans came to this country. That's the type of mindset that people need to get on, like, you know, because these crazy motherfuckers, man, they on some crazy ass shit, man. And last year they already proved what the fuck they were trying to do. But the thing is, the New Order, they're sloppy. They don't have the numbers. Like, people don't even really, people live in so much fear. Y'all don't even see how fucking sloppy they are, yo. The New Order is very fucking sloppy. They can't even keep up with the fuck they're doing. But y'all can't understand that, because they're using the fear machine to inject fear into your mind to pull you out of what the fuck you need to be doing, or realizing, like, how weak they really are and how sloppy they really are, you know. I mean, I could go on and on about this shit. And, you know, in this situation, man, you gotta understand, man, the New Order, they have a psychological profile on all of us. Unless you was born in a fucking jungle somewhere and you lived off the grid since birth, or you was born before the time. You was born at least from 1990 and at least from like 1990 and down or whatever, you know, not up but down, like going towards like the 40s and 50s and shit. Well, you was born before the technological advancements that done happened over the past decades and shit. And what people need to understand from a technological standpoint is that you better understand that the technological exponential curve that's getting ready to happen, man. We're close, but we're not that. I mean, we're almost there, but we still got a little bit far ways to go. And what I mean about the technological exponential curve that I'm talking about is where technology literally doubles itself at an accelerating rate, where it's just gonna take off, like, you know. to unbelievable heights. And this is what the New Order is dependent on. This is what they want. They want to bullshit everybody, make sure everybody's not prepared until that technological growth accelerates and hit that curve so hard where technology doubles itself by itself. That's what I meant to say. Technology is going to double itself by itself, and they're just going to reap the benefits of everything while everybody's being enslaved by all this shit that's going on. But the thing is, the New Order, they're going to have to, they're going to have to face God sooner or later, man. I don't know how long this shit going to take, but, understand that there is a higher power that's above them. They're not the God of this world. Maybe to some of y'all, because y'all can't a lot of y'all haven't been taught, understand who the higher power is and the attributes of the higher power. Y'all know, some of y'all know God is real, but y'all don't know the attributes of God. But that's for a different story. But you have to understand mind science of what the fuck they're doing. You have to understand the psychological program, the psychological conditioning that they have on us, especially with black people, man. It's sort of like, you'll see a lion that's tamed or whatever. And then, you see the owner, petting the lion and shit. The lion is all lovey-dovey and shit. And then out of nowhere, the lion just get angry and then they try to snap at the fucking, at the owner and shit. Like, that's animal instincts right there. That's what, that's animal instincts that the lion have. You can't really control, because animals don't understand logic. They go off of instincts. That's what I meant to say. Like, animals, they go off of instincts. They don't really understand logic like how humans are. But you take that and you compare how black people act, and the system knows this, and they like to trigger black people's instincts out here, because humans, we have instincts too. We have instincts too. It's just that the system, when it comes to black people, they know how to trigger our instincts. And we get all angry and shit and fucking flip out and do all this, they understand this shit, man. They spent money on this shit. They had years and years of research, different doctors and all this other shit, man. Like, because at one point in this country, man, black people, we were